Today, Patel finally had to face the contradictions he created around the Epstein files, and the second he was pressed, every answer fell apart.
Before I begin, I want to caution my colleagues on, one-sided violence in this country. We just heard that there were no riots on the right. We're literally sitting in the building where there was a giant riot by supporters of the president, the right. We also heard that only leftists, have said that Trump is a Nazi. In 2016, the current vice president of the United States said, Trump is either a cynical asshole or he's America's Hitler. And so this is the problem. I don't want to have to say this garbage, but you want me to sit here and get painted with one brush, the whole left. No, there are extremes on the left, and there are extremes on the right. And we collectively should tackle that. But to come here and just look at us and say we all support what's going on in the extremes is why we can't solve anything in this building. Director, let me say first, thank you for being here, and my condolences on the loss of your friend. And I'm happy to hear that you want to do more on the social media platforms. It's crazy what's going on the social media platforms. There are so many conspiracy theories on what's going on with Charlie Kirk. Israel assassinated him, right? There are conspiracy theories about your personal social life all day. It is totally rampant. Big names on the right, Candace Owens, right? Talking about how what's been released as far as the dialogue between the perpetrator and his roommate is manufactured by the FBI, manufactured by the administration. It is totally rampant, allowing foreign governments to just perpetrate these platforms, all of these bots, all of the time to weaponize Americans. You see what's going on here? This is a byproduct of all of that. What's going on in the streets is a byproduct of all of that. What's happening is you see people celebrate Luigi Mangione is a byproduct of all of that. And so if we want to do something, then we should talk about Section 230. We should talk about how we're going to make sure that we don't let foreign governments poison our children's mind. And so I will work with you on that, Director.
I'll work with you on 230 any day.
No problem. So now, that was the good part. I want to take your attention back a second, okay? Breaking news. Kash Patel is nominated to be the FBI director. Dan Bongino is nominated to be the number 2 at the FBI. MAGA celebrates, rejoices, bells are ringing out. The team, Patel, Bongino, that sought out every podcast microphone to talk about the Epstein list. The names are finally going to get released. It begins. They produce white binders. Phase 1 with the podcasters. This is not actually one of them, of course. I made this. Your name's on it, right? And the names are going to come out. Pam Bondi says the list is on her desk. Then a memo comes out all of a sudden and says, there's no list. Oh, no phase 2. Phase 2 binders never happen. You said the conspiracy theories around Epstein just aren't true. They never have been. And yesterday, in an answer to Senator Kennedy, you said the FBI is not in possession of any credible evidence that Epstein trafficked girls to anyone but himself. So according to your testimony yesterday and in this committee, according to the evidence the FBI has, the number of names on the list are 0.
No,
zero.
The index has been released, and the number of people involved in that trafficking operation were charged in 2018.
Other than Epstein and Epstein Maxwell, your testimony in the Senate and here is that according to the evidence you have, the number of other names is 0.
That were charged based on credible evidence.
Well, who are the other names? Give me the other names that weren't charged.
We are not releasing the names of anyone because the Department of Justice never does that of anyone that didn't have any credible information to attack them.
Let me move forward. The president has, you've seen the picture of the woman's body with the writing and the president's signature. The president says that's not his. Okay? President says it's not his. The Republican colleagues say it's not his. The administration say it's not his. Will you be opening up an investigation into the Epstein estate for putting out a fake document with the president's signature linking him to the world's largest pedophile ring? Will you be opening that investigation into that?
On what basis?
On what basis? They literally put out a fake document, according to the president, with a fake signature. It's a forgery of the president of the United States signature. That's the basis.
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay, I look forward to that investigation. Am I over? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate your diligence.
Gentleman's time has expired.
This exchange is important because it exposes something most people don't see: how political narratives are built, how they fall apart, and how public officials react when their own past rhetoric comes back to confront them. The congressman starts with a rare moment of honesty about the political climate. He rejects the idea that extremism belongs to only one side, reminding everyone that violence and radicalization aren't partisan. That matters because it sets the tone. This isn't about defending a party. It's about calling out how misinformation and conspiracy theories poison the entire system. Before the confrontation even begins, he frames the hearing as a broader conversation about responsibility, truth, and how political figures shape public perception. Then he pivots sharply to Kash Patel, and what he does next is essentially lay out the entire arc of Patel's transformation, from political commentator to FBI director. He rewinds the tape for the audience. He describes Patel before taking office, using podcasts and appearances to fuel speculation about an Epstein list, implying that the FBI was hiding names and promising massive disclosures once he had power. Patel wasn't a reluctant participant in those narratives. He leaned into them. He suggested transparency, implied revelations, and fed public expectations. But now, with institutional responsibility, Patel says something entirely different: that, according to the FBI's actual evidence, the number of people implicated beyond Epstein and Maxwell is 0. Not disputed, not unknown, 0. That's a dramatic reversal. And the congressman doesn't let it slip by unnoticed. He points directly at the contradiction. If Patel once suggested there were many names, where are they now? If he once implied a massive cover-up, why does he now say there's nothing? The viewer learns something crucial here: that public rhetoric often inflates expectations far beyond what the evidence supports. And when that rhetoric collides with reality, officials scramble to rewrite the story. The congressman forces Patel to confront that. He doesn't use insults or exaggeration, he uses Patel's own words. And Patel, now under oath, retreats from every prior implication. He says there was no list, no hidden names, no suppressed cases. And even when asked something as basic as how many times the president's name appeared, he says he doesn't know. That moment is revealing because the director of the FBI should know that figure if he's been overseeing the processing of those files. It signals either unwillingness to answer or lack of direct engagement with the review he claims to be managing. Either way, it undermines credibility. The congressman becomes even more specific. He describes media reports and whistleblower claims, saying the FBI pulled large numbers of agents off active criminal, national security, and trafficking cases to sift through Epstein materials, not to investigate crimes, but to redact references to Donald Trump and other public figures. If those reports are accurate, that raises serious questions about institutional priorities. Patel denies it all, but without details, without numbers, without clarity. That's what makes the exchange so human and so real. Denial without explanation is essentially an admission that the truth is uncomfortable. And then comes the final twist: the alleged Epstein card with the president's signature that the president insists is forged. The congressman's question is precise. If the president says it's fake, and if the administration backs that claim, will the FBI investigate the possibility of a forgery? Patel resists at first. But as the congressman lays out the logic, if a forgery exists, it's a crime, Patel finally agrees to open an investigation. And that's the lesson viewers should walk away with. Institutions don't move because they want to. They move because they're pushed. Because elected officials, journalists, the public demand clarity. Because contradictions become too large to ignore. Because the truth stops being optional. This hearing wasn't about sensationalism. It was about accountability. It was about asking how much of what officials say in public is grounded in reality, and how much is built to generate attention, outrage, or applause until responsibility forces them into a different story. What this moment teaches us is simple. Transparency isn't something officials offer freely. It's something the public has to insist on, question by question, contradiction by contradiction. If we want real accountability, we have to keep watching, keep questioning, and keep challenging the narratives that fall apart the moment they face actual scrutiny.